Okay, this is okay. All right, here we go. Because this is the cool stuff that gets me all excited. Hey Lisa, how are you?
Hi, good. How are
Welcome,
you?
welcome, welcome. So, welcome to this is is it March? We're still in March. Tomorrow is April. It's been a little crazy. Welcome to the March 31st. We're eking it right in, recording and a meeting of Friends Becoming Neighbors. And welcome. And we got all kinds of exciting stuff going on. We just had probably, I think this is probably the third or fourth opportunity for next door neighbors to actually meet each other right here, which is exciting, which is what we love to happen. Eleanor and Tanya met each other for the first time, and they're building with the same builder, which is so exciting. And we'll give each other an opportunity to actually have a good conversation about that. And here we are. It's spring all over the country. And I hope I've been speaking to New York practically every day. And today my car said it was 85 outside. I don't really think it was 85. I think it was more in the 70s here, which is just as fine. And it's anybody coming from any place that's colder than 60 today?
Hello,
Everybody's
but
kind of been,
DC, Washington area, it's full cherry blossom season. It's
oh, it must be
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's
It must be
absolutely gorgeous.
It must be beautiful. No, we're coming into spring. Everybody is feeling better and not so itchy, like not so cranky with the aching, but the sneezing. I'm sure all over everybody's allergies are starting to kick up, and it is what it is. And I'm so happy to see everybody here. I know we have a guest who's here. Not her first time, not her second time. Is this the third or fourth time? I think since we started this.
Something like
Um,
that. But
we,
I
we
have so
stopped
many
we
friends
stopped counting
here.
after a while. And I'm just going to introduce her, Andrea Daniels, and she is our house mover in both ways. Not only our in-house mover, but our moving our house mover. How many people have you moved?
My mom just asked me that, and I think it's about 15. It'll be more after the Parks and Brian and Kim move in. So,
So
oh,
so
I'm
tell us
going. Sorry.
so tell us about take it away, Andrea.
Well, my name's Andrea Daniels. My parents live on Lemon Drop up near the front. I work for Hildrep Moving and Storage, which is an agent of United Van Lines. So the reason I just wanted to pop on tonight is we are about to be in our peak season. So when all of the kids are out of school, is when moving is at its peak. So from May until about September is our busy season. So every time I'm driving to my parents' house, it feels like another two or three houses have popped up since the last time I was there 3 days ago. So I just wanted to kind of pop on and say hi and introduce myself to anybody that hadn't met me, answer any questions, because I know a lot of people are in different stages of their move into becoming, I've called them Bluffians when I'm talking to my team on my side. So when I send a move over, I'm like, here's a Bluffian instead of here's another one of my parents' neighbors. Um, but I just wanted to come in and say hi and see how I could help because we are getting to that busy season. And I know that everyone is in different stages and it's hard to kind of say, well, I need to think about how I'm getting to the bluffs when you don't even have a house yet, but it's never too early to start thinking about that. Um, Hildrep is one of United Van Line's largest agents. We've been in business since 1903, headquartered in the Northern Virginia area, but we do have 55 drivers that long haul all over the country. So I just wanted to kind of, again, pop on and say hi, introduce myself to those who haven't met me yet. Say it's never too early to start, especially if you're getting a closing date of like June, July, August. Like, let's start talking because what happens in the summer is availability goes up, pricing goes up, And I know these are things you guys can control because you get told when your house is going to be finished. It's really out of your hands. But the more planning you can do, the more proactive you can be, especially when it comes to the move, will save you money in the long run. Because it's kind of like sometimes when my phone dies, sorry, my voicemail shuts off and then it won't turn back on. So I'll give you my contact information, but I didn't have a missed call. I'm so sorry. Um, so yeah, that's me and what I do. And there's a couple people on here that have moved with me. So the Hadleys, if you want to say anything about your experience, or Brian, if you want to say anything about what you guys have done so far, or the parks. I was up in Virginia and was able to do it in home with them. So I try and be um, available and friendly. And you guys are all going to become neighbors of my parents. And Lillian Olson and I spent 2 hours doing a walkthrough of her house last week. So if anyone wants to say anything about how it's been with them so far, I'll stop talking now.
That you're here because that was the one of the questions that we had today was who's that person that's like from the Bluffs or the kid from the Bluffs or whatever. So because our house is going on the market Thursday.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. And we come down there next week to do our pre-drywall. So middle of next week, we'll have a pretty good idea of whether it's going to be like late July, early August, or late August, or whenever. But we're building with Kent, and they've been great and really.
Yes.
Those windows closed?
So yeah, I'm excited to meet you.
You guys too. I will put all of my information in the chat. Someone had said we tried to call on Friday, but it didn't go through. So sometimes when my work phone dies and then when I charge it back up, it doesn't like reactivate my voicemail. So it says I have no voicemail. So if that happens, I apologize. I've emailed IT about it, but
We're kind of persistent, so we'll just keep calling back.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well,
Let
so
me
I
just
will
say that- Let me just say that our move with Andrea Hildrep was an amazingly perfect move. It happened. There was the driver was both drivers, two drivers were phenomenal. The crew that loaded us were great people. They took care of our stuff. They wrapped everything. They were in and out loading up the truck entirely of our stuff. Does that say we have a lot of stuff? And it was delivered within the week down here. And it was tucked away, and it couldn't have been any easier, any smoother, and any more professional people. So I would highly recommend them, number one, just because of the job they did. But oh, by the way, the price was cheaper. So think about that too.
And we had 3 storage units in Maryland, and they
Wow.
were able to get all our stuff in one storage unit here in Leland.
Wow.
Yeah, and saving us
Great
money.
story. That's the other question I had, because we're anticipating our house to sell pretty quickly, fingers crossed and all that, which means we'll be somewhat nomads for a couple of months while Kent finishes the house off River Park Way. So yeah, we need to figure all those logistics and
Yeah.
So let me
the
offer
Hadleys-
two
the
tips
Hadleys
to
and the
that.
Parks are doing something similar, moving down here and waiting for their house to be finished. So we have a storage facility in Raleigh that we can store in. I'm very transparent, and one of the reasons the Hadleys are in storage in Leland is it's not the most cost-effective option. And I'm going to run all of the scenarios for you because I want you guys to get the most for your money. I always say I'm a people person. I'm not a company person. So I want you guys to have a good experience. So we have a storage facility in Raleigh that we can store everything in and then deliver out when your house is done. But we can also put you in a mini storage and then have that same Raleigh crew come down and pick you up. I think that's what the Hadleys are doing. This Parks will probably do something similar, hopefully. So we can run through all those scenarios as Kent finishes the house and see what works best for you guys.
Great. Janine, you had a question?
Yeah. Just quick, when you just roughly, I mean, does your company tend to go by weight or if you use a whole truck or not?
So we are a weight-based move. So we'll do a walkthrough of your home, like a video survey, and I'll be using the AI to determine the weight of it all. But like if you cut that weight in half between when we do the walkthrough, excuse me, your inventory, your items, like I know you guys are, I remember you guys are working with the designers. If she takes a bunch of stuff early or you decide not to bring stuff, we can make any kind of changes. So there's no deposit, you're not locked into anything. We can cut that in half between when we do the walkthrough and when we actually put your stuff on the truck.
Okay.
So I will say, we got in touch with Andrea. I think it was after the January meeting. I think, correct me if I'm wrong.
Through the POA meeting when you guys
It
were
was
down.
after one of the
Yeah.
POA meetings. She did a walkthrough. We did FaceTime or Zoom or whatever it was. I showed her everything that we were going to take with us. She took all that. She did her magic. She shot back a price. We agreed to it. The amazing thing is, and what I can't emphasize enough, if you know you're moving within 6, 8 months, get in touch with Andrea, because the greatest thing is every month I get a phone call from, and I can't think of her name on the tip of my tongue. Yes, she calls me. She says, Brian, any changes? Are you still taking everything you want? Is there anything else you need from us? I'll call you again in a month. If there's anything else, give me a call. So to get on the schedule early is more important, and then you just figure it out as you go. Like, I think my wife and I have changed what we're taking 3 or 4 times without telling them, but we're like, oh, well, maybe, no, we'll take, yes, let's take this now. So probably next month is my final, this is what we're taking,
Yeah.
and then it'll all be good. But I've been extremely happy. We haven't moved yet, but everything has led up to it has been great.
Yeah, I'd like to touch base with you later.
I'm trying to use this chat. I'm the young one and I can't figure out.
Okay, yeah, okay, young one. Okay, I can be Obi-Wan. Okay.
There we go.
There you go. So her number, for those of you, it's 703-297-5987. And I'll make sure that I put it in when I send out the recording of the meeting, I'll make sure that I put all that in there for you as well. And I can always get it.
I'll do something for this group of people that I did for the first round. What's the hot topic, Robin, these days?
The hot topic. Well, it's still, you know what? It's still the hot topic. Nothing ever changes.
Okay. The next, Lillian, this won't apply to you, but it will, I'll maybe do it for you too. The next person that books with me, I'll pay for your mailbox key.
So the very first meeting that Andrea came to, it was actually the very beginning of the changeover of the mailbox keys, and it was a very big deal.
You were very upset.
Nobody had ever done the mailbox keys before. So Andrea said, "What can I do?" And I said, "Well, everybody's complaining about the mailbox keys, so she will pay for your mailbox key." Now, for those of you who don't realize, we don't know what that's about, we'll talk about that at some other point. But it was a very hot topic, and Jack Johnson was actually the very first person who booked. He was coming from Colorado, and he is here. And we just opened the community garden. So the community garden has just opened. Andrew, you got to go over and see what Jack did. And we can talk a little bit about the community garden and the dog park are now open. So all the doggies, the dog park will be officially open. Probably the mulch is there, the water is there. Within the next couple of weeks, we can have grand openings. So for those of you with puppies and itches to grow things, the beds are out there, and we'll talk about that in a little while. So anybody else have any questions for Andrea? I mean, Eleonora, I want to know whether I want to know whether after you have a good conversation with Andrea, if you're going to trust them with your books.
I have lots of books, that's sure. And
You moved from New York?
Did we move from New York?
Yeah.
Yes. So even though we have offices in every state from Virginia down to Florida, but because we're united, we have drivers that travel all over the country. So yes, we moved yes, we can move you from New York. And Robin can tell her tale that it's best to go with someone you know and a reputable company because so many things can go wrong. I won't speak on her behalf, but I do my best to represent my company, my family, and you guys well when I'm doing this, because it's not just me. Like, you guys are going to be people. I literally am walking the neighborhood with my dog all the time, and I see everyone that I've moved, and I'm waving and saying hi. I'm almost as popular as Robin. But I want you guys to have a good experience. I want this to be positive, and it's also my family that live in the neighborhood, so I don't want their houses egged. So I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that you guys are happy. So it's not just another move to me. Like, I really do make sure that everything goes as smooth as possible.
Yeah, we have another welcome party tomorrow. I wonder if you moved any of the
Rubinos. Yes.
So that's right. You moved the Rubinos. Mm-hmm. Anybody else in that?
No, they were the last one.
They were the last ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have some other ones that were some people that have moved in before. But it's going to be interesting. So yes, Andrea's around all the time, and I have every story has been more stellar than the one before. So highly recommend, and she's around all the time. So if you're here, well, but she lives locally. So if you want to, and honestly, and if she's not here, her puppy's here. So.
And I do like to try and stop by on delivery day so you can put a face to the name and it all come full circle and know that I'm real. I don't think I've only missed like a handful of deliveries. We do local moves. Yes, ma'am.
Tanya, where are you located?
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm here in Leyland.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That makes it nice and easy, or easier, perhaps. It's all good. All right. So yes, and if anybody has any questions for Andrea,
thank you for everyone who has entrusted Hildreth and me with their move so far. Parks, Brian, everything.
I mean, like my move, it's probably, it's a two-part because I do have to move out from my current space to put it on the market. So it has to go in storage because they haven't even started the construction. So I'm looking like a couple of months of storage as well.
Okay. And like I said before, I'll run the different scenarios for you. I always want what's convenient, but I know that you guys are building these houses and they come with price tags too. So I don't want to send you something that's outlandish. So we can run through the scenarios and make it work for you.
Excellent.
So just try and call me again. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay. All good. So Andrea, you're welcome to hang out, or I'm sure you've been through this so many times that you know the narrative anyway. So
well, thanks guys. Have a good night.
You too, sweet. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, it's an ongoing effort, and it's all good. It's exciting to hear so many people coming in. There's the puppies. So who's next for moving in? Who's on the docket for moving in next?
Last week of May.
I'm gonna say Brian. That should be you.
Last week of first week of May. Who's the first week of May? Who did I hear? May. So Suzanne, you're coming in. You're next, huh?
Fingers crossed.
So April.
Late April. Very late.
Very late. Like cuspo May.
It's going to be like you told me. Hopefully it's ready enough to move in. We're not going to be finished for I don't know how long, but we're anxious to get there and we're just kind of pushing them along.
And our guest room is right around the corner. So
well, my house is only 20 minutes away, but we don't own our home anymore, by the way.
Really? So, you closed?
We did. We did. So we rented it back for 60
Congratulations.
days. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We're very happy.
And you are floating in the air, or you're staying until?
No, they let us rent it back for 2 months.
Oh, that's great.
It's
okay.
Perfect. Yep.
Terrific.
Yep.
So for those of you who don't know,
how is that working for you?
So far, perfectly.
Perfect. Because it's, I mean, I'm trying, of course, the rent here in Virginia, it's just impossible. So it makes more sense if I have to rent something over there in Leland than staying. I was tossing around to rent back, but my real estate agents want my unit emptied, so I have to pack up and.
Well, who's in charge? You or the real estate unit?
Well, I want to sell, so that's the. Yeah, it's a lot to think about for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know several people that did something similar to what we're doing, which is, buyers, if there's a good market for where you live, and buyers are, you've got maybe two buyers, or it's a seller's market, then a lot of compromises are made in terms of closing the deal. So these folks were willing to wait, and we wrote it into contract for 60 days beyond closing, and then unofficially it says even if they need to be a little more flexible, they will be. So I know other people that have sold their home that way, so maybe it's something to think about.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like I said, is it really worse for me to rent back this outlandish prices?
Well, we put it in the contract. In fact, that's what I negotiated with them. And instead of negotiating on the price, I said, just give us our 2 months, as part of the deal. And they said yes immediately.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
because the rent here, it's like $3,000 I'm looking for a month.
yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Similar.
Daphne, when are you guys coming down? Soon, right?
Go ahead.
We'll be down in April.
May.
Oh, May.
for good,
so
right?
Well, yeah, the date kept changing, so now it's definitely May.
Early May or
say again?
Early May?
Mid-May.
Mid-May. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, your house is flying.
Yeah, well, the house won't be finished then. We're gonna.
You're gonna rent it. Yeah, you're renting.
We're renting down there from the Escapis, if you know them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're renting from them until our house is finished.
I mean, but your house is. I mean, every day. I mean, they are moving along.
Yeah, they're cooking, but I've heard that once you hit this plateau, once they start working on the inside, things slow a little bit. But yeah, they're cooking right now.
Well, you know what it is when you're driving by, and it's really funny because I drive by and I stop because the parks are 2 houses down from us. So I drive by it on my way out, and I leave early in the morning 3 days a week, and I stop and I take pictures, and they know that I'm taking pictures for Daphne and Dennis. And I told them early on that I'm not a spy. I'm taking pictures for them. And they move out of the way so that I can take the pictures. I don't know whether they don't want to be seen in the pictures, but they know they want me to take a picture. And then sometimes I sneak around and I grab a picture when they're not looking. But I think that it appears that it slows down because even Michael will stop by. We're driving because I go back and forth more than he does. And he's like, he'll slow down. I said, why are you slowing? Because I want to see what they're doing. I don't get a chance to see. And then he went in to take pictures because I want to go in and see what's going on, what was going on inside. So once they get back and once they get inside, they're still doing a lot. I think you just don't see it because it's more, they're smaller changes. When they start running wire, you don't see huge amounts of change. And then all of a sudden you'll go in and big things happen, like tile and cabinets and walls and all that kind of really cool stuff. But the windows were a huge, because she said they're going to be starting our windows, and I woke up the next day and there were half the windows were there. So it's it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a really cool thing to see. So Lisa, where are you now, and where are you building, and who are you building with?
I am down on River Park Way, just before you get to the new bridge at the end there.
Okay.
And we're still a ways out. We probably will not start building till the end of this year.
Okay.
And probably not move into till early 2027.
Oh, okay.
Our plan. So I'm in New York. I'm actually spending a month in Wilmington at the moment. So I am in downtown Wilmington at a wonderful Verbo.
Great.
Just getting the lay of the land and enjoying myself here. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're just kind of at the beginning stages.
And have you chosen a builder yet?
Yes, we're using Coastal Cypress.
Okay. And where is your lot?
Down at the end of River Parkway, right before it ends at that new bridge, at the bridge.
Oh, okay. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Very exciting. We can't wait to get there.
Now, are you not starting until later, or are you leasing back, or are you?
We're not starting until probably the end of this year.
Great.
My husband doesn't retire until like the end of next year. So,
Okay.
and we have 2 of our kids are getting married next year. So we're kind of waiting for after the weddings, after he retires. And then we figure we'll just stay there for the holidays.
Rest.
Yeah, we'll stay there for the holidays, and after the holidays we'll move. That's
Awesome.
the plan. We'll see if it actually works out as planned, but
very exciting.
So do you or anybody else on the call have tips for picking a short-term rental down there? Yeah, you just mentioned you were doing a Verbo for a month. We're going to be doing something like that for probably 2 to 3 months, and are like really wondering where to do it.
Like where to stay.
Where to stay, close to Leland, in downtown Wilmington, close to Wrightsville,
Well, I'll tell you, I have never had so much fun in my life as I am staying here. And the woman who owns this property owns a total of 7 properties, and she and her husband, and then they manage an additional 13. She is absolutely fabulous. We've become friends. We go out to happy hour. And I think it's great. She gives a big discount for staying like a month as opposed to weeks.
Do you mind sharing her contact information? Or
yeah. Let me think. Her website, her company name is Carolina Vacay, Vacay. Carolina Vacay. So if you look her up online, you'll find Carolina Vacay.
Yeah, we're looking for something that's
VACA, you said? VAC.
Vacay.
You were looking for something like fully furnished because we just wanted to pack up our stuff, store it, and then
I can't tell you, I brought down a whole load of stuff thinking that I needed a whole load of stuff because I'm staying here for a month. I don't need it. It is absolutely so fully stocked. It's better stocked than my own house.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, blow dryer, all the shampoo, conditioner, anything that you need. Dishes galore. I mean, and pots and pans and baking dishes, just absolutely everything.
Awesome.
Also, I got the website and confirmed that it loads up and all that good stuff. So
Thanks.
Good.
We're only panicking a little bit with how fast things are happening. We're like, oh my gosh.
Tanya, are you originally
where is located? What does her rentals? What are the rentals located? Are in Leland or in Wilmington or?
All I can tell you is the one that I'm in. I'm right in the middle of downtown Wilmington. I didn't look. That's where I did my search, so that's where I found. That's where I wanted to be. I didn't look into where the rest of her properties are, but she did tell me to take a look at them because she's got a lot of fun properties for next time I want to do this.
Great.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Eleanor, it's a it's a good place certainly to start. So Tanya,
and like I said, everything is going to be packed up, so all I need is just the desk and my laptop, and since I still have to work.
No, absolutely. So Tanya, were you originally from the Wilmington area, or are you?
No, I moved here from Charlotte. So I've been here since 2021 through the pandemic of, you know what? It was awful. So I ended up buying a house here and I'm like, no, this is not really what I want. So that's where we're at.
Okay. So you're obviously you're starting soon, or?
No, they should start this week, breaking the land. Well, actually clearing the land. So they're anticipated on being done in September. If not, well, no, I'm lying. November. I'm sorry, November.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Michael, what do you think? September, November, huh?
I think some builders can do it, and others will never be able to do
it. We've all been through all of that stuff. So
but my advice is don't wager on that.
Don't start packing your socks yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've definitely got to sell my house, and until I know the date, I'm not even going to put it on the market because I'm not doing any of these rent back situations, moving. I'm not doing any of that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was told Coastal Cypress, they're a year out, so they're taking a full year to build.
Well, and again, a lot of it depends. There's so many things. I mean, as of right now, Leland is number one in the country for the most building permits being pulled in the country.
Right.
Wow. So if that gives you an idea, sometimes it has to do with the builders, sometimes it has to do with the amount of building that's going on. And from what I hear from friends who are builders and other just builders who are builders, it's getting the inspectors. So, even though things are ready, it's just staff like everything else. So we're just doing the best that we can. So Bernie, you've been really quiet. Tell us what's going on in your world.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bernie. My wife Marge and I are from New Jersey. We bought our lot on Dockview Court in Phase 5 last September. And we haven't even sold our house here in New Jersey yet. It's not even on the market. We've been here about 30 years, and we've got about 30 years of stuff. That's the nice word for it, to figure out what to do with. We've been picking at it, moving it, deciding what goes, what gets donated, what gets thrown out, and hopefully the little bit that we're going to bring down with us. So all the information that you guys were talking about with the moves, the Verbo rentals, that's going to be our plan, is what we anticipate. And right now we're going between two different builders who we both like plans that they've drawn up for us. And it's just a struggle trying to decide which of those two. So we're real close on deciding on our builder. So
Bernie, what lot number are you on Dockview Court?
we are 525. So about halfway down the cul-de-sac.
Okay, we're 521. So we're right across at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
We're kind of tucked away in the woods there.
Oh, you're right across. Are you the flag lot kind of?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Are we the what?
So nice to meet you,
Up in New
neighbor.
Jersey, we call it a flag lot when you've got
Oh,
a
okay.
driveway and a bigger property in the back. Nice to meet you guys too.
Yeah, nice.
Now
to
we
meet
have two neighbors that are meeting each other for the first time. I remember the very first meeting, the very first meeting, we had two people who met each other for the very first time, and it brought tears to my eyes because it was so exciting because people literally met. Which is really exciting for me because this was really one of the most amazing things that you'll never forget. You guys met each other. It's like a little Brady Bunch moment, like because I'm just looking at squares. So now you have a face and a name to go with the dirt that's across the street from your house.
Our dirt's not far from you guys either. We're 539 on River Park Way.
Okay.
So just before you get to Dock View.
Okay.
Right.
So we're probably neighbors.
Yeah.
What's your name? What's your name?
Regina and Chuck.
Oh, we know your house.
It's going up fast.
It's going up fast.
And actually, we found out when we were down here, we found out that 2 houses away is a family that's building right now. Their house is going up on the corner of Dock View and I guess River Parkway or whatever.
Jake and Julie?
No. Debbie and Renato. It was being framed. They're from the same town we live in.
Oh, is that right?
Wow.
Hey, Bertie, we talked to you down with Josh. We're at 524.
Ah.
Okay,
So
that was
we're
you.
across the street from you guys, 521.
Okay. You're Ed, right?
No, Dave. Yeah. Josh.
Bernie, where in New Jersey you from?
Morris County.
So are we. We're in Boonton, New Jersey.
Okay. Yep. We've lived out here about 30 years. We moved here from Minnesota, and then been here, for work, and then so this has been home and I grew up here. My wife's from Long Island originally, so.
Where on Long Island?
She's from Massapequa.
Oh, okay. I'm from Baldwin.
Yeah, I saw your 516 area
Northport.
on your phone, so.
Where were you from? Freeport?
East Northport.
East Northport.
Oh my gosh. My father was a teacher in East Northport. I'm from Middle Island. Well, Smithtown originally.
We just met our neighbors 2 doors down, TJ and Julie.
Okay.
And Julie graduated from the same high school as me. And TJ lived in the same development as him. And the only reason they didn't go to the same school was because I must be a little younger. The high school he went to wasn't built yet. He went to
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm in the same. We're like the same people.
And the world gets smaller and smaller. So, Paul, what's been going on with you?
So, my big, you got to turn off your volume. My big news is, well, turn off your volume.
I'm working on it, honey.
Just turn your volume on. Big news is that I retired on Friday. So, thank you very much. Yeah. So, actually, with the government, I took what's called the deferred resignation. So, I'm actually being paid all the way to the end of the year, which is really nice.
Tina got
but so with our property, the houses. So we broke ground in first week of November, and the house on the schedule says that they should be done the last week of May. But when we left them in February, they said, "Oh, that could slip a week or two." So we're not really sure. So we're busy cleaning up the house here. We had a pod here in the driveway, for about 3 weeks. loading that up. And so that left us last week. And now we're going to get a dumpster here and get rid of what we don't need. And then we're going to have the house painted, and then we'll be putting it up for sale sometime early May. And then I'll have a big retirement party second week of June before we make the move down there. So that's the whole plan for us.
Well, we'll have a lot of things to celebrate. We're very excited for you. Because you were talking about it when we saw you. You were a couple of weeks away, like a month away, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about it.
With that program, it was all uncertain how they were gonna be working it, and they finally got it figured out. And then they gave me about 3 weeks to put in for it, and had a big party on Friday. 60 of my good friends, to see me off, and then we'll have another one in June. So thank you.
Listen, we'll just keep partying. Lillian, how are you feeling about all this?
Oh, I'm feeling fine with it.
Yeah, a lot of togetherness, isn't it? We'll start getting used to it, baby. It's all good.
Paul, just out of curiosity, what agency did you work for?
Paul, which agency did you work for?
I worked for the Army.
Okay.
At Aberdeen Proving Ground.
Nice.
Another Marylander.
Yeah. See, there we go. So David and Amy, what's been going on with you besides we know where you were, where the house is? What's going on with you guys?
Well, we were down there this weekend. We brought our son and his girlfriend. He's never seen the place, so we were there, and we're much surprised how quickly it's going up. They're planning on putting the roof on the next week or so. They already ordered the windows and everything like that. So it's going up very quickly, more quickly than we thought it would go up.
The weather has been it's been particularly dry. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of rain. There hasn't been a lot of poo. It's been pretty decent. So I think that I think they've been getting a lot of good stuff done. There's been a lot of stuff happening very fast. I mean, wake up in the morning and every day, for those of us who have been driving back and forth all over the place, Suzanne, I'm sure every time you come in, like half a house is there the next time you drive around. I mean, I haven't seen what's going on inside a lot of them, but right, Teresa, every time you go by, it's a lot of those houses towards the front of the neighborhood. Every time you leave, there's another half a house there. It's pretty incredible. Brian, what's going on with you guys?
Hey, Robin, real quick.
Yes.
Dave and Amy are also in the same situation as Janine is with the retaining wall. They were a little late coming in.
But I'm gonna bring that up.
Okay.
After everybody gets, has an opportunity to talk, because I think that's an important thing for everybody.
Yeah, no, we're just can't get there fast enough. May's coming. Get ready, loves. Got my golf cart on order. We're ready to go.
So are you getting a driver's license for it or not?
So interesting tidbit. Listening to everybody, how long it takes. Him and I were down 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess it was. We went to Whitesville because what happened was Kim's license was getting ready to expire here in Pennsylvania. So we're like, why pay for another 4-year license? And my registration on my vehicle was getting ready to expire at the end of March. So we went down, we had to check out the house. We went to Whitesville. We literally had our licenses in our hands in about an hour. Drove to the other place where you get the license plates. I forgot one particular document for my wife's car, but we were able to transfer the tags on mine in about 15, 20 minutes. So all the horror stories you hear by going to the one in Wilmington, you drive an hour and 15 minutes to Whitesville, you're in and out and home in the amount of time you're sitting waiting in Wilmington.
Yeah, we went to Jacksonville. So, pretty much the same thing. Are you going to get a plate for your golf cart?
I don't think so. We talked to the guy. I'm getting a VIN number for it. So if I ever do want to get a license plate, I can. Like when they start building up around the area and putting grocery stores or whatever. But I don't need to do it right away.
All right, cool. Okay, did I miss anybody? Is there anybody that wants to share, has anything important, anything that we missed? Because I do want to, Michael, do you have anything to share?
Anything to share? No, we've been here since late August. So Robin, we're now over the 7-month mark, still with boxes in the garage. So, but that's our doing and nothing else, just our doing. And really starting to get more involved in the community. Robin is always involved in the community with different things. And I was probably a little slow in getting started because I'm still working part-time, working remotely out of my home office. But little by little, we get out there and I'm playing pickleball and I'm going to play in this golf outing that we're going to have. I'm not a good golfer, but I'll play once in a while. And there's a Bluffs golf outing event in another week or so. And we see people all the time. We've met tons and tons of people. It's a great community. We've met tons of people at all the different events. Like tomorrow night, Robin and I are going to be going to an event for the newbies, all the new people that have moved in. And then just at this other events all the time either at the clubhouse. There's a lot of clubs and organizations. There are people that do hiking. There are people that do kayaking. There are people that Robin mentioned. She's going to talk about the gardens, the public gardens. There's a committee for everything. There's an organization for everything. And if there's something that you want to do and it hasn't been started yet, you can start it. There's no real obstacle. It's just a matter of your time and your due diligence in putting it together. And yes, Dennis and Daphne, I entered your house, breaking and entering, right? But we went in.
We didn't break anything. We didn't break anything.
I didn't break anything.
I didn't break anything. It's Suzanne and John's house.
I have to tell you, it's Dennis and Daphne. It's wide open, as is every new house in this community. But you saw we went in, we took some pictures for you, a lot of framing. And I don't know if anything's happened in the last week with drywall, but lots of framing was done, as you can see from the photos. And yes, when you drive by at this point in time, it doesn't look like anything's happening because it's all really transitioning to the inside of the house. Until they start to then level your ground and prepare your driveway, there's a lot that doesn't happen outside anymore. So we'll have to be stealthy and get more inside for you. If you're not here, we'll get you some more pictures.
Yeah, and if anybody, Michael also has a drone. So if anybody wants to see what's going on over their house, in fact, I'm sending him in the drone up to see what's going on inside our gutters.
Wait, so I have to interrupt. So I promised that Dennis and Daphne that I would take drone photos of your house, but here's the thing. The trusses were delivered, all the wood and lumber was there on the ground. And I said, boy, they're going to put that roof up any day now. And I'm sitting here in my home office working. I said, gee, I got to get out there, Robin. I'm sure they're going to start the roof. I went out, it was done literally in a day. So I missed it because it was done in lightning speed. But that's the way your builder is. Your builder is really quick, and very efficient. And so, if you do want the drone video, I can still shoot drone video, but it won't be of your roof that's in process. It's done. You know what I mean?
Well, because I was waiting for it because what happened is they said, and I went out the next day and the guys were there and they know that I come by and take pictures. I said, you guys, I was waiting for this. What time did you bring those over there? 3:00. They started that at 3:00 in the afternoon. By 3:00 in the afternoon, I'm already back in the house for everything. So, and Suzanne, why don't you tell everybody what's good? We have an activity going on the end of April and then the beginning of May. That's involving your husband.
Indeed. So I don't know if many people have seen, there's been an advertisement going out for 2 Friday nights in a row, April 25th and May 2nd, for pizza, ice cream, and doo-wop music. And the doo-wop group is Shades of Grey. They've been around the area probably for 12 to 13 years, played in a number of different venues. And John Hammerin, or also known as Johnny Winston, is their sound engineer and sings a couple of songs with them. And they've recruited me now to kind of be their booking agent and manager. And so we look forward to seeing any of you that are down there, and should be a lot of fun. Great group, great doo-wop, great harmonies, and all good.
And our pizza guy.
Yes.
So Jeff, the pizza guy. So if you haven't had Jeff, the pizza guy, he's our resident pizza guy, and he's from Connecticut, so it's not New York pizza, but the next best thing. And I never thought that I would say that Connecticut pizza. I mean, we fight about it all the time.
Jeff calls it's called New Haven pizza.
Excuse me, it's New Haven pizza.
Jeff was very particular when he told me it's New Haven pizza.
It is
called our pizza.
It's good. I'm here. He's here. It's good. It's good pizza. It's all wonderful. So there's a lot of really wonderful stuff going on. So there's been a couple of questions. The clubhouse. I was with Pat the other day. Everyone's been asking about the clubhouse. So Pat's answer to me the other day was the clubhouse will be ready when the clubhouse is ready, which is such a mother answer, but it's getting there. Doug is so freaking frustrated. I promise you, he's just as frustrated as all the rest of us who are building houses, that he's having the same problems that we have with houses getting built. Things are getting delayed. And believe it or not, the last delay, I believe, was something about the grinder pump, because it's so big, evidently had to be custom built. And that was a delay because very few places have to have custom built grinder pumps. So that set things back. We're getting there. We are getting there. Believe me, he wants it open just as badly as the rest of us do. So they're getting things as quickly as possible. The pool is being refinished. They did some patching. It is being retiled and it is being fully refinished. And they are repairing all of the inside the pool lights. So we're going to have, there were lights there before and something must have shorted. So the pool will be all nice and fresh, and it will be opening in May, though it always does, officially opening in May. So that's going to be very exciting. The community garden, I don't know if you've seen any of the, if anybody is a gardener, we eventually will have around 30 beds. Right now we have 20. How many were there, Michael? 20?
I don't remember. I think it's about what they have put up now is probably about half of what will eventually be, because that garden area is a very long space. I don't know. I didn't measure it. I'm going to say
I think that there's like somewhere between 18 and 20 beds there right now.
Yeah, there's like 20 beds.
They are $200 for forever. In other words, for you, it's yours forever. They have full irrigation. So they have water. It's well water that you do not have to pay for. It comes with your bed. So you don't have to be in your backyard paying for your water. The wood has been reclaimed from our bridges. So it's actually very cool that they were built by our woodworking group. So it's really kind of keeping everything here. It gives you an opportunity. We get full sun there. There is literally nothing there, but it's going to be a really cool space. There will be a gazebo there to be able to relax. We're also hoping to do a lot of community opportunities there. We're going to be putting in, we have an herb garden that we're putting in there. We're also going to be working, possibly putting in a butterfly garden, and we're talking maybe an apiary, a cutting garden. So a whole bunch of things. If you are interested in gardening and you're better than me, I can barely keep plastic alive, but I'm there for events. So my idea is to really make a community out of this. I want to do a pumpkin patch so that the kids can come and pick pumpkins every year and then grow the new pumpkins from the pumpkins the year before. Maybe a sunflower garden, because who doesn't love really gorgeous, high sunflowers? And plus we get plenty of sun. So lots of opportunities to do co-ops. People are talking about doing co-op vegetable gardens. So maybe you can't grow everything. We don't get full sun in my backyard. And I wanted a lemon tree. And Michael said, where are you going to get a lemon tree? And where are you putting it when you have to bring it in? So, well, I have people who want to put lemon trees in their spaces. So I may be able to get lemons. So, it's really, we want to do something with together. So and then right next to now, Tanya, I'll answer your question in 1 second. Literally right next to the community garden is the dog park. So does anybody, if you know where the boat and RV storage is, right at the end. So literally on the back, on the other side of that fence. So when you leave the gate on Hedsel Way, right after you leave the gate on the outside of that, so you'll have to leave. It looks like you're leaving the community, although that's still our property and it's still part of the community. The entrance to the dog park and the entrance to the community garden are on the other side of that gate. So if you look, if this is the gate, the community garden and the dog park are on the other side. So you'll see like the tops of and Michael was like, wow, I didn't realize there were so many RVs and boats in there. Because we've never been that way. So you would go out the construction gate on Hedsel, go all the way to the end of that road and make a left over there. And you'll see there's entrances to both. So there's the dog park, but both will have locks on them, and you'll have a code to get back in. But there's a dog park for small dogs and a dog park for larger dogs. That will be there's rules for that. There's contracts that have to be sold. You have to have proof of a rabies shot. There's a contract for all of that stuff for those who have dogs. And all of these things have been community created. There were fundraisers for the dog parks. There's going to be gazebos for shade. There's water in there. There's going to be poop bags and well water and all that. And there's mulch in there already. And those should be open. The dog park, I believe, should be open very soon. They're just getting benches and things like that in there. And the people are already putting stuff into the community garden. They're already starting to work on their beds. And they'll be $200 forever. So that's yours. It's yours for as long as you're here in the Bluffs.
So on that note, like what happens when the amount of space is all taken up and new homeowners move in and would like to have a garden?
So we probably have enough for about like 75 or 80 boxes.
Okay. And the projection isn't that you're going to exceed that anytime soon.
And if it should be that we need more of those, at some point we could go in another direction.
There's more land to be.
I mean, there is more land over there that right now is just being used for that's where the garden, like the garden, like Dirt Nerds and everybody has. If you've ever been back there is land back there. It's being used for storage of other things. Yeah. We are just so excited that there's been that much interest in it. We never expected to have that as much interest as there already was. And there's an opportunity if people decide that they're no longer interested, they could sell it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Should we maybe buy one now if we think we're going to want?
Absolutely, because you can people are purchasing too.
When does that open up, or what's the process?
It's opened up now. You have accessibility to purchase it now, and you don't have to. So if you know that you're going to want one or two of them, you can certainly reserve it now. And you don't have to, it doesn't have, we can have it, there's some of them that are already built. You can reserve one for, 6 months from now, or when the next section gets built. You can pick where you want the one that's built. And when the next ones get built, yours will be built. The irrigation, the water, it's all there. It's already there.
Is that in one of the newsletters, the method to do that, the process?
I can say, I can send it to you. Just I'll send you the information for that.
Yes, I would like it too, please.
Of course, yeah. So so are you guys already on Team Reach?
Yes.
Okay, so if you go on to Team Reach, let me find out, the community garden Team Reach is.
Oh, I actually belong. So
it belongs. So all you have to do, you should have it on there. It should have been on there.
Okay.
If you're on there, if you go into the garden users, the form was on March 21st. There was a post on there from Jack with the form to secure your spot.
Okay.
So there's a hot link there to secure your spot.
Okay, great.
Okay, so it's like 1, 2, it's the third one down.
What's the name of the Team Reach group?
The Team Reach group is the Bluffs Community Garden Users. It's BCGU77.
Perfect.
Congratulations, you have joined the Bluffs Community Gardens Users Group.
Woohoo! And if anybody wants to be involved in that, and if you're really interested in doing things, I know that there's some people that are involved in, they want to do co-ops, and they're going to do seminars and things. There's some really incredible people with amazing experience in growing things. Not me, but I'm happy to schedule it. I'm happy to make refreshments. So, we're always looking for people to pursue their dreams. And even, and Lisa, even if you're not going to be here yet, there's tons of things that and I'm the perfect person to say so, because I wasn't here for 2.5 years, and I was still involved in things, because you can still do things when you're not here. And be a part of it. So when you are here, it's really nice, and you're here for a month at a time. It's nice to helicopter in and be a part of stuff, even if you're not here.
I have been.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool.
So similar, like related but different. Do you know what the availability in the boat and RV storage area is? I thought I read something about it being at capacity.
So there's plenty of room for everybody. If you need space, go to Pat.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband
don't have one yet, but we
and
plan
she
to go.
just said it's constantly people, have a space, then they get rid of it and do it when you're closer, because we were going to see if we needed to reserve it now, even though we won't be down till after the lease back. And she's like, no, you need to do it when the actual vehicle or boat is gonna come there. She goes, but it's constantly moving around.
But it's not at capacity. I don't have to worry about.
She didn't say that it was, and from what I've heard of other people, there may be some additional land that if they need it, like Robin is saying with the garden, that they can.
But there is plenty, and it is actively, as of right now, there is no problem.
Got it.
So, but with any of that, any of those types of questions, the best thing and the most, at this point, the best thing to do always is to go to the POA, go to Pat, because she will always have the most up-to-date answers. Because even if I heard something yesterday, something could have changed.
Yep.
And even if she's really going to be on top of all of it. And it doesn't mean that what I heard yesterday was wrong. It just means that something could have changed. Somebody could have come in, with five people could have moved in yesterday, and every single one of them had a boat or had a trailer. I mean, I could not believe the last time I was over there, it was not that full. I mean, it was really not. And that whole back fence, Michael, I mean, it was pretty much the back of the fence was really full. So I just want, while we are here, because I want to keep an eye on the time. Janina brought something up, and I want to just bring it up for some of you who are building, some of you who are just getting into your build. Janina brought something up about retaining walls. And I know that some of you have already had the experience with it. Some of you may be, hearing about this in your build, and some of you may be surprised as you start your build with some of that. Has anybody had a conversation? And Lisa, have you had any conversations based upon where your house is being, with the thought about a retaining wall?
They've gone, no specifics yet. I know that my builder is the only builder I'm told that they actually do their own retaining walls. I don't know, and I may or may not need them. They're not sure yet, I don't think. But I was told that they would be the most cost efficient builder for them because they do them themselves. They don't contract them out. That's all I know about retaining walls.
I think Ginny Haygood does their own as well, don't they?
Not necessarily. The retaining wall is on the responsibility of the homeowner. And basically our project manager, Ben, said to us, he goes, I'll ask Steve from Dirt Nerds for a price. He goes, but if it goes through us, we have to build in our margin, have him bill you directly. And even Randy Race told us the same thing. So Steve is working on something, and the price he had estimated out to us, in all honesty, I was very shocked about how reasonable it was for the height and length of what he was going to do. So, we'll see. It's just would have been nice to have an idea further up than, 3 weeks before going to orientation.
Brian, you look disturbed.
Brian's always disturbed.
I know.
She's going through stuff, and I'm interacting with her and listening to you. So it's all good.
Oh, okay.
I have a question just about the Team Reach thing again. I went on for the community garden to fill out that form, and I forgot, but links don't work for me in it. Any suggestions? I don't know why, but anything that I've tried to, people have posted stuff in there with links, and they don't work for me.
Okay, so let me go to that link because I'm on the advisors and I'm also on. I can, Lisa, if you can just text me your email and I'll email it to you so that you can have you'll have the form.
Okay.
Okay.
Chat.
Okay, so has anybody else
can you send me the form as well?
Sure. Yeah, so just let me know who. So Eleanor wants the form. Chuck, were you able to download the form?
I am looking for the link now. What date did you say it was posted?
I believe it was on the 21st.
Of February?
March.
March.
Yeah, it's 3 down. 3.
It's the third one down.
Well, I scrolled way too far.
Yeah, it's towards the top.
Yep. Yes, Dennis.
Is it
for? I just wanted to. Oh, go ahead. Whoever that was. We good? Okay. Yeah, I would just want to say before we get off the retaining wall thing, for those who have not broken ground yet, uh, be patient and be flexible and have some margin because the reality is until they stake out your house, you just don't know. You just don't know. So until they stake out your house and you see how it's actually going to fit on the lot, you really don't know. And there are going to be there's good to where we live at because of the nature and the beauty and the creeks and the wetlands and all that. But the trade-off is we don't live on flat ground. And so, you just gotta be patient and work through it. Everybody's situation is gonna be a little different. But just be prepared for something to change because it could.
Yeah, I have to reiterate that as well because when we bought our lot, I mean, you looked at our lot, it did not look like we had a lot of slope to our lot. And now that our house is up, we have a backyard that has a pretty steep drop off. And right now, there's no way that, I mean, I would be afraid to put any type of landscaping in. One good rain wash and it's probably going to be down in the wetlands. So, yeah, I reiterate that you're not going to know until you're staked out and you see exactly how your foundation goes in terms of how tall it is, because ours is pretty tall. And
Yeah.
we're dealing with that now too. I mean, we were down there this weekend and we met with Ben and because we're with Haygood too. And Steve came over and we kind of went through what we wanted to do. He kind of took us to a house that he's doing and kind of showed exactly sort of how it would look. And we're waiting to see what his proposal is going to be like.
And to Dennis's point, I mean, we were just down last weekend, and honestly, that's the 5 month mark where this came up. So it was much after being staked out until the driveway was actually put down, and you could see how close it was getting to the wetlands. And Ben had even shortened the width of it by like 4 or 5 inches, which he had told us at the pre-drywall that he might have to do. But then when Steve from Dirt Nerds walked our landscaping plan with us, because they're starting it next week, that's when he said, no, this part has to done. So even way after it being staked out until a bunch of things get on there, you can still have that element of surprise, I guess.
But better now.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, we're 5 months in, we're closing in another month. So they'll be done in 6 months. So it took 5 months to get to the part where, Steve's not walking the lots every week to see how runoff is going. And the driveway just got put down a week before we met with him. And that's where he could see, by then seeing the runoff coming from under the driveway, where he's like, we haven't had a lot of rain. You got that now. You're going to need something. So, plus the house next to us is already built. And as I said, their downspouts come towards our direction. So I don't know what's going on subterranean, and it's fine, but it's an evolving process.
And I would think that so much of that whole area went up so fast. And it's interesting because my section was the last one that the Bluffs was able to sell without roads, without being developed. In other words, they were able to sell the land before all the utilities were in, before the roads were in. And that's why there were so many issues, because they didn't have all that infrastructure here. So as soon as phase 4 and then 5 were opened, that's why everything, I think, went up so quickly. And everybody, because now everybody who bought there was like started building right away. So that's why the houses came in so quickly. Around here, you find people had purchased them years ago, had purchased the lots, and we didn't populate it as quickly. So there are still lots here that people have owned for years that they didn't build on right away because they were able to. So things are a little bit slower. We have cul-de-sacs that don't have a lot of houses. We still have these properties here that were purchased years ago that are either have been resold, or we still don't know exactly who owned them. So each section has its own flavor. And now we have that whole phase, is it 6, 7, whatever that last phase is, which is still, I haven't been back. Michael, have you been back there recently?
I was back there last month. Not very far back there, but I was at, there's a bridge at the very end of Fallen Pear. And so I crossed over the bridge just to poke around a little bit. And they don't want people back there. They don't want equipment back there. They don't want bicycles and golf carts. But I know that talking to different people around the community, they go back there, they walk their dogs, they hike, they do things. It's right now, well, the last time I saw it, there's no paved road. It's a dirt road. It looks like a dirt path, and you can see different lots marked out, typically with the flags that they use to mark out lots, and you can see where utilities are going in. But that connector at that part of Fallen Pear eventually is going to meet up with the connector at the other end of River Parkway. And that's why, who was it? Somebody on the call said, I'm building next to, maybe it was you, Lisa?
That's me, yes.
Yeah. And you can cross over the bridge, but beware. It's a construction zone.
So that's River Park Way, not.
Yeah, but the whole thing from one end to the other, that phase 6 is a construction zone. And I don't know what the schedule is, but it is a construction zone, and there's a lot of heavy equipment moving through there all the time. But they've got, I think that's probably a little ways away. I don't know if it's a year or 6 months or 2 years. Somebody has a schedule for it, but it's not imminent.
Right.
See it as being imminent.
Okay.
But it should be nice. And it's going to actually, what that's going to do is going to change the traffic pattern in the Bluffs. So for you folks that live on River Parkway, Janine and others, instead of going all the way around, and I mean all the way around Fallen Pear, right, which is a big arc, right, you're going to be able to just zip down that. I don't know what the road is going to be called, but you're going to be able to connect up on that other side there with Fallen Pear to exit the community, or to
So
get
it only
to
takes 10 minutes to get out of the community rather than the 15.
Right, but it's funny
Yeah.
because Nadine and Nadine figured out that it's actually still faster for her to go the other way. Like, she may be the midpoint.
Yeah.
It's faster for her to still go the other way than it is to go. So everybody's going to have their way.
Not for Janine.
But
Hey,
Eleanor,
I like to have choices.
Yeah,
You will have choices, Janine, but I really think you're going to be faster zipping out that way
And hitting red raspberry or whatever down
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
but we're still all
absolutely.
going to have to. We're all still going to have to go around the Rotary. There's unless you go out Rivergate, and then go straight out through
No,
Hedsel.
everybody goes through the Rotary, I think.
Well, unless you go out Hedsel. If you go through Hedsel, if you go out through Hedsel, you don't have to take the Rotary.
Yeah.
And eventually that's going to become another. We'll see. But Eleanor, in answer to your question, you and Tanya can walk. It'll take you right to the community garden and the dog park. You'll be able to just walk right across. It's very short.
It's a good little walk. Yeah, it's a good little walk.
Yeah, it's very close to our location.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
And
excited about that.
they will have so like wheelbarrows and rakes and all kinds of things over there, so you don't have to take stuff. There'll be a thing over there. So anybody else have anything else they want to share? Any other questions? Anything they want
They're
to?
close to pulling the trigger on the new gate entry system.
Yes, in fact, um, they are testing it. In fact, today I heard they were testing it with some more. There were a couple of glitches with a couple of things. They wanted to make sure that it was better than what we had because there was some humidity issues and some because sometimes the devil that but now they're ready to they've fixed some of the glitches with the beams, making sure that everything was right, because it's like a little chip that's a sticker that goes on your headlight, and each one has to be registered. Oh, it's lightning. It's raining. So we're going to get some rain. I just saw flashes of
We're
lightning.
having a hell of a storm here.
Yeah. Oh, Suzanne, is that what you said? Is Suzanne over by you?
Yeah, we have a storm here as well.
Yeah.
It's raining in Wilmington.
Well, great. Well, we need the rain. So it's a little tiny sticker that has like all kinds of electronics in it. And they were dealing with just making sure that the beams and everything work in the humidity and they work in rain, all the different kinds of weather. And that should be happening pretty soon. So that's going to be for the entrance, and then the entry for the clubhouse and the beach club are going to be an app on your phone.
How about the guest access?
So guest access you mean for letting people in?
Correct.
All right, so that's also going to be, that's going to be on your phone. That will also, you'll be able to just, and now you should be able to do that on your phone as well, because you have a code.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody that does, you already have a code. So if somebody calls you, if a guest comes to visit you and they call your phone, you have a code that all you have to do is press that code and it'll open up the gate.
We need more cell towers then.
Well, hey, listen, baby, you got to change your phone. Hey, but you already have that. And everybody should know it. If you haven't, when you got your gate code, you got your guest code. And I am the poster child for forgetting my guest code. So all you have to do is call the gate and call the gatehouse, and they will give you your guest code, because they have a record of your guest code.
Oh, because they told us they weren't going to give us our guest code until we're much closer to coming down. They just gave us our, the 4-digit, owner's code, and we had
Same for us.
That's what I got too.
Yeah, they didn't give us the
same
guest
here.
code because we wouldn't be down there letting
They're a
people.
little inconsistent then, because they gave us our 4-digit code and our guest code, and we're moving in for. I mean, they did this 4 months ago.
Huh.
They only gave me a 3-digit temporary code because they said they're switching over to the new system.
And that may be why. So if it's inconsistent, I mean, Janine, if you're not going to be in the house,
yeah, no, I don't care. I'm just,
then it really doesn't matter. I mean, I mean, they basically gave me at that time, it just kind of came together. So if there's really no reason for you to need it, don't bother getting it now, because it's just something to forget.
But they're never getting rid of that 4-digit code because, again, like people like myself and whoever's building or doing leasebacks or waiting, I can't have you give me something that's going to go on my car, because most of the time we fly down and use a rental car. So we need to be able to get in and out of the bluff. So that 4-digit code still needs to be a go forward.
I don't know what that, if that key, I'm trying to remember whether they said if that keypad is still, I think they're getting, I have to remember what they said about the keypad and those codes.
It worked last weekend, but that, I mean, in all honesty, that would be my major concern, because if we're not going to get control of the house for another year, and obviously we're going to be coming down in a rental car, or even if it is our car.
Absolutely.
If I'm buying a new car because our cars are getting older, and I come in after 5 p.m., as an owner, that's not.
You will always, trust me, there will always be a way for you to get in.
We
Now,
had come down about a month ago, and I had been in touch with the gatehouse team about a week or two before we came down, and they gave me the codes. They were real good. We just did it by email. So it's usually about a day lag. So make sure you get in touch with them at least
no,
a
it's
day or
yeah.
two before.
But yeah, no, it's more about if they remove it to just go to that, sticker on your light, or if you go through an aggressive car wash, see how that goes.
And that's one of the reasons that they've been doing testing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And now what's going to happen with the when the new clubhouse opens, that there will not be a code. There will not be a
there'll be an app
there, and it'll all be through an app in your phone. It'll actually be, if you have it in your pocket, it should be sensor, so it'll open it. But that's how they're going to know who's actually going in and out of the clubhouse. So it's going to be coded to your phone. So if you have kids, it could go onto your kid's phone, whoever's living in your household. But people, they'll know who's going in and out of the beach club. That also means that people can't give their friends the code. Like, you can't say, "Oh, I'll meet you down there," and then people giving their friends the code to the house. So that's how we're going to know who's going in and out of the house as well. So at least we'll have some kind of accountability for who's going in and out of the house. Because as the community gets larger, more and more people going in and out. So we're working on it. So that being
I have a
said,
question for Brian.
Yep.
So Brian, when you got your license, what did you use for proof of address or proof of residence?
So I was able to, because we're leasing back, Dennis, we used our certificate of occupancy.
Oh, okay.
So we used that. We also used our insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had to show that we had insurance. Did we have to show our insurance at our address, Michael?
No, we needed a few pieces of ID. First of all, we were living here, so we had proof of residency from like our electric bill, or with some document that we had when we purchased the house. But you have to get a license, you must also be insured. And we had our New York insurance still in effect at the time. So we had to show proof of insurance. And then after that, we switched over to our local North Carolina insurance company. But North Carolina, when we were getting our license, I had a conversation with the guy behind the counter. To get a license, you must have insurance, even if you don't own a car. If you don't own a car, you can still get, I'll call it non-ownership car insurance. They had a term for it. But you must have insurance to get a license. And again, it was an explanation from the guy behind the counter at the motor vehicle department. And it all made sense to me. It's just a different way of doing things down here versus New York or Virginia or Maryland. It's just, that's what it is.
I hear there's thunder and all kinds of wonderful things going on.
Which local insurance did you choose?
We chose, is it Farmers? Hold
It's
on.
we're insured
Travelers.
through the Honeycut. It's the Honeycut group.
Okay. So I'm looking at the little document right here. So yeah, we use the Honeycut group as our broker, and we have Travelers as the car insurance. And the broker, they ask you 1,000 questions about your vehicles and yourself and so forth, and then he hunts down a policy that is the right price and the right coverage for whatever vehicles you have. So we have Travelers, but it could have been any other insurance company. He gave us a couple of, not choices, but he gave us some reasons why he chose Travelers versus this one or that one. And that one seemed to be the best in terms of price and coverage. Next year when our insurance is up, who knows? We'll talk to the Honeycutt group, and he may have something else for us. It's insurance. There's, no problem switching, but you must be insured to get a license.
The one thing, Dennis, when you're registering your vehicles, I don't know what it costs where you live to register your vehicle, but up here in Pennsylvania, it costs me like $30 a year. Down in North Carolina, for my 2019 Yukon with 85,000 miles on it, cost me $500 a year to register.
It was very expensive.
Wow.
So they get you one way or another.
Because they tax you on it's part.
Just be ready for that.
Yeah, little sticker shock, right? That was sticker shock.
Wow, that for sure.
Yes, it was huge.
Yeah, because I usually choose 2 years because you get a discount if you take the 2 years.
So Eleanor,
North Carolina.
So New York State, we had like a 2-year registration from New York State, and I think we were only 1 year into it. So when you surrender your plates to New York, and you have to surrender your plates, we got a little bit of money back. It was a small amount, like $30 or something like that. Whereas that normally it would be, I think it was like a little over $100 per year for maybe, so let's call it $200 for 2 years worth of registration in New York State. And I got a little bit of money back. So it goes.
Yeah, that was a bit of, and that was for each car. That $500 was like for each car.
Correct. 2 vehicles, 400 something. I think it was, Brian, maybe you paid a little bit more. I don't know. It was 4 and change, I think it was. But you're close. 5. We didn't pay 5. It was 4 and change.
It was 4 and change. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But they will take a credit card. They'll take your credit card. The other thing, I have to tell you this, at the motor vehicle, I don't know if anybody else is, not only did I have to pay that, then I had to also pay a cash fee for what is it, not power of attorney, you do a notary. There was I think it was like $8 or a $10 or some silly nominal cash fee, not credit card, not check, cash for the notary at the motor vehicle.
Yeah, for the notary.
Yes, Brian?
And that's a cash. You need cash.
Not much. You don't need much, but you must have some cash with you. Don't go in with zero.
Right.
It's all the fun learning stuff.
How much was it, Brian? Was it about $8 or $4, $10?
It's something like that.
Very nominal.
It was a nominal fee compared to everything else.
Yeah.
Kim said it was like $11.
Yes, could be. It was very nominal. But yet, they're still reaching into your pocket, aren't they?
Yep.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But I will just make sure if there's anything else that anybody needs, just reach out and find me. I'm going to go make sure that the car windows are all closed. It's thundering and we're getting some nice good rain here. Thank you guys for all being here. If you're back in town anytime soon, please give me a call. Let's stop by and say hi. Paul, congratulations again. It's good to see everybody. And Tina, congratulations for you as well. Just any pictures that anybody needs, Dennis will keep on taking pictures. Brian, we're going to see you very soon. Janine, hopefully we'll be in town this time when you're in. And
I'll be in on the 23rd.
Yep. It's all good. Just make sure you stay in touch and everyone stay safe. And hopefully we'll see you guys really soon. I'll let you know when May's meeting. We'll look forward to seeing you again and have a great night.
Yeah,
Stay safe, everybody.
Good night.
Night night.
Good night.